Hi, I'm Michael Fraser. I'm a copywriter, an artist, and a father. And in this video, I'm going to take you through my article, Shocking Book Reveals How People Become Perceived as Viruses to Society. So, in this time where we're living and people are looking at each other like viruses because we have this perception that other people are going to have a negative influence on our health, etc. And I have a author that I wrote this article for and interviewed in a podcast to help convey his message about how culture and how biology are not so disconnected that you can draw a relationship. And so his book is all about the connection between biology and culture. And so this title is really to captivate people in the context of what's currently going on in the world right now. But the book itself is much, much more broad. And so you can see that in the article. I take some context of current modern day ideas, but also expand and incorporate interesting aspects of his book beyond what's relevant to the viral mania we're going through today. The picture I chose that I created with a stock photo of a bacteria culture and put a picture of people looking upwards as if they themselves are the bacteria that are being studied, because it does feel like that right now, that we're being studied in a way. And so I wanted to give the context of a book that looks at our culture as if it is a product of biology, and this picture that I created really shows that in a visual form. During a podcast interview for Two Track Minds, Ivan Tukakov explains the research detailed in his manuscript, Cultura Rasa. One aspect of the book analyzes patterns of viruses and bacteria within living organisms in contrast to cultural patterns in society. So in this first paragraph, I'm really trying to just explain the essence of what his book is about and let people know that there was a podcast interview that I did with him that we're deriving this information from. So the podcast interview was done first, and then I wrote the article and pulled information from the interview. In this discussion, Ivan explains the emergence of cellular biology out of matter and sociocultural groups out of living organisms. He shows how individuals are born into distinct roles in their society and culture. And then I inserted a clip from the podcast that talks about the breadth of society and harnessing free will to give people an idea of the scope of our conversation going beyond viruses. From the interview, I quoted, "A virus is an entity that doesn't belong to your body. A virus can be bad for you, good for you, or benign. Even though it's a separate entity, the virus will function within your system. Just like a person, a free living entity can still function within a larger city structure. In this analogy, if you're a person who's going around messing with people's regular roles in society, you'll be seen as a virus to the system." So he's really talking about the biology, the way that we see it in relationship to culture and how culture functions. So the parallels between both. And this is what I wanted to convey, is how his book isn't necessarily a scientific document, but rather a a collection of comparisons between scientific analysis of culture and scientific analysis of biology. Yvonne discusses how viruses and bacteria can benefit our bodies without us even knowing it. So this is something that the audience may not even know, that these things we see all the time as harmful could be actually benefiting us, but we don't know it. He compares the biological system to small gatherings that operate completely independent from official societal norms, but they still benefit the larger society greatly. In the interview, Yvonne explains, you know how they say you have good gut bacteria? A bacterium is a cell, the smallest living format. It can exist in your gut without the body getting rid of it and can improve the state. A lot of bacteria in our gut have nothing to do with us. It just so happens it's benefiting you. The author explains that a small gathering of people fulfilling needs within the society is like a bacterial structure. These groups within the larger society can exist as long as they're not bothering the whole system. When people are noticed to be bothering the system, they become perceived as viruses. The disruption of societal norms is seen as anarchy in the system. So, really, we're getting a look at the author's understanding of how we perceive our culture and our society in relationship to how we look at the functions of the body, viruses, and bacteria, something that we're looking so deeply at right now and is manifesting the way that we're looking at each other in context to our everyday culture. So then what we want to do is we want to get people looking at the book and understanding more about the relationship to how we see the biological function of our bodies and how we relate to our culture and the people around us. So guiding people back to the website where they can see for themselves a more in-depth look at this comparison, which is so curious right now and should be intriguing to everybody to understand how we're really looking at and analyzing ourselves and our structure and how that relates to our society. If you're intrigued to learn more about how society and culture harness the forces of biology, visit the Cultura Rasa website, explore the Tree of Culture. So now you wonder, what's the Tree of Culture? And you want to check out the book and understand more how he's coming to these conclusions. Flip through the free excerpts and sign up to the email list to find out more about Ivan Tugukov's upcoming book set to release in the fall of 2022 so people can get involved and learn more and stay in touch. And that's the goal of this article, is really to intrigue the curiosity about culture in relationship to biology so that people will come and look at the book, check out the Tree of Culture, flip through the free excerpts, and sign up to the email list ultimately. All right. Thank you so much for checking out this article, and I hope to see you soon. If you have a book or any kind of a creative endeavor that you'd like me to help you explore and communicate, I would love to work with you.